Hi everyone, today I'll be showing you how I made this crochet cowboy hat, and you can see that it's dry and it's got the shape of the cowboy hat. So the indentations, the shaping of the brim, those are what we'll be covering in this tutorial. So I made another video tutorial showing you how I crocheted the hat itself. So here today we're only covering the basics of how to create the shape and made a prototype for a crochet cowboy hat. You might want to start by crocheting your hat first. The tutorial itself comes in 3 different sizes: the child, the teen, and the adult fashion. So pick the size you like, make your crochet hat, and let's try create the shaping in this video together. Once you are done with crocheting your fashion, this is how it looks. It's more or less like a sun hat. So let's give it a shape. So I'll be using a mold. At the moment, it appears as if this is a sun hat, and I've linked the tutorial where I made the art itself. So today we're giving it shape. So for this, you will need a prototype that will serve as your mold. I'm using a cowboy hat that I got some times ago, and I've created this fashion just to look similar. So we only need to give the shape. So the crown and the body of the hat with the brim. If you want your art not to be shaped with at the brim, you can just skip that step. But I'm shaping at the brim, the crown, and the body in this tutorial. So next, you get your mold and your glue. So for this tutorial, I'm using clear PVA glue. So I love this because it's transparent. You can switch with other type of glues. You can use starch, you can use any other fabric stiffener. So next we need to protect the mold with the cowboy hat. So I initially started with cling film just to make sure that I lay it properly, but I was having great difficulty. So I ended up abandoning the cling film, and I picked a disposable plastic bag that I then wrapped my cowboy hat in, which will be my mold. So if there's any other method in which in protecting your mold, please do that. You don't want to lose the mold while you have crochet cowboy hat at the end of the day. So I secured it by making a knot. Make sure that I let out the air, and have the the cowboy mold properly covered. I made a knot, and then you can size this in. Make sure that you positioning it the right way. So if you followed my tutorial in making the hat itself, you'll notice that the crown has got 2 sides, the wide part and the short tip. So you want to make sure that you position it appropriately when you're doing the molding. So that is done. And then in the flip over, and then you can make a opening on so that you have access to the crown part of the hat. So because I've just got this cowboy mold art itself, you can substitute this. That is okay, absolutely fine. So you place this apart, get a big bowl, and then prepare your starch the way it's been instructed. For mine, it's just I'm using it straight away. So in my plastic bowl, I'm pouring in the starch. So whatever other methods you love to start your project, you can try that. Some of my testers went ahead to use starch. They diluted with water, and it came out well. So I'm using clear PVA glue, and it's 500 mils. I ended up having, in total I used about 400 mils, although you have some wastage and you can starch the second time. So this is inside the container at the moment, and the next thing is that I'll wear a glove just to protect my hand. I don't like how messy this can be. So you are welcome to protect your nails, your hand. If you don't like the feel of the starch, you can use a wooden or plastic spoon if you have any available next to you. I wanted to be able to use my hand to make sure that the glue penetrates the crochet art properly. So next, I'll get my art itself. I remove it from the mold, and I'll soak it in water. Gently squeeze out the the excess fluid. So it's not shown in the video. I paused at some point, went, soaked in water, and came back to the, I've soaked in water, squeezed the water out, and here I am now trying to get the starch, my glue, to evenly distribute and get to every part of the art. So trying to do this a multiple time, I want to make sure that each part of the cowboy crochet has got the glue we want it to take shape. That's why gently squeeze. There's nothing coming out because it's properly the glue is thick in consistency, is not that watery, so which is what we want. So once you're happy with the distribution of the glue on your project, you can then squeeze it out if there's anything to squeeze. If there's none, you take the crochet hats and place on the protected mold in which already covered with plastic bag. So you want to gently create the indentations that are on the mold by using your hand. So initially I was thinking it would just stick, but I had to get some other disposable bags, in which you'll see in a minute. I paused the recording, went look for items that I can use to create the indentation. So got some just to make sure that, so if you feel like the cowboy your crochet art still you notice any area that there are no glue around it, you can apply that at this point. Right, so just making sure that the glue has properly penetrated each stitch in the crochet hat, and then if you look closely, you see that it's taking shape of what the prototype looks like. But I was really going for that indentation and I really want it to show, so I went ahead and grabbed some disposable plastic to put in it. I'm back. I've got this disposable bag that I've been keeping. So I initially placed that inside the mold. So if you don't have the plastic mold I put in my previously, there's no need for it. As you can see, you can just put that a bunch of fabrics, paper, unused yarn, leftover ends, wrap them properly and put inside the crown of the hat. So because the prototype has got some indentation, I wanted to create similar shape. So I got some other disposable bags, and that will be what I've folded. And I went ahead to get rope. I'm using yarn for this. It's one of the 100% cotton yarn, so it's that strong. So went ahead, placed the disposable bags on the art itself because I wanted to create that indentation. I'll show you the finished art and you'll see that the indentation really took shape. So I'll go ahead, tie it multiple times because I've got glue on my hand that is not working. The yarn is torn and I'm back to where I started from. So I ended up changing my glove, trying it all over again. So the reason why I'm doing this, two reasons. The brim of the hat has got that beautiful fold that gives it the characteristic cowboy hat shape. So I wanted that to be transferred to the brim of my crochet hat. So I needed to pull it up a little and make the knot. And also the bag that I placed on top of the crown, I want it also to create the indentation and the other end. So you tie it multiple times. You'll notice that I'm not going to tie across the other end. I'm just doing it on that side alone because we don't want to give another shape that is not in the original cowboy hat itself. So once you're happy with the placement and you've shaped with your hand, you can go ahead, apply more glue if you think you need that. So make sure you're happy with what it looks like. If it's in the summer that you're seeing this, it's a favorable time for it to dry. If it's not, you might need to place it where it will dry for a few hours. So this is mine. After 24 hours, you see the color difference. It's dried, and the truth is it looks dried when I picked it up. By the time I loosen it up, I discovered that it's not as dry as what I wanted. So I replaced all the added paper bags and dried for another 24 hours. I made my fashion in spring, and it still took me 48 hours to dry. So I figured if you are making a fashion in summer, you might not need to wait up to 48 hours. So you really love what shape it has by the time you remove the added strings to create it. So you can see that when I removed the rope, the bounce back at the brim was not totally back to being flat. It's now taking the shape of the cowboy hat. So gently remove the bag that you've used to protect the hat. For some, this might stuck to your crochet hat. Gently remove it. If it is dry, you can gently remove it and see what it looks like. Can you see? Appreciate the indentation. Can you appreciate the... So after a few minutes, I wasn't happy with how it looked, so I decided to to dry it further. I started. So I removed the plastic bag. Most of the glue already dried, but I really don't like the shape yet. It's not really obvious, so I placed a clip and did this all over again. Apologies, I didn't record how I did this, but this is me removing the items I used to stabilize it. So instead of putting the cowboy hat under, this time around I reversed the way I did it and then dried again for 24 hours. As I said, it was in the spring I did my fashion, and I've removed it now. So let's see what it looks like. So you can appreciate the brim taking better shape, and you can also see what the crown looks like. Can you appreciate the indentation, a close up? And I really loved how it has taken shape in this second dry. So if you don't get what you're looking for in initial drying, don't give up. You can dry again if you don't think it's perfectly dried, or you can add more starch. You can switch this type of starch method you're using and try that. So I went ahead, made a rope, a tie, and just wanted to give it this boho look, and I really love how it turned out. So trim off the excess yarn if you like, or you can make tassel with it. You can decorate with whatever ornament you've got and enjoy your cowboy hat. So if you've used other methods, I would like to know what your experience has been. Comment